keep going forward, we're going to start reading the book of Ruth.
Yeah.
Did you look ahead and see it in there?
No.
Oh, well, we're going to start.
But you've told us that.
Yep, we're going
I
to.
love the book of Ruth.
So when we get through this book, you will have read the book of Ruth in Hebrew and translated it. And it's not as hard as you think.
I like going back and rewatching the lessons,
Yeah.
as opposed to, I pick up things that, went by
And you catch them. That's
and,
good.
and understand, okay, that's why I missed that. That's why I didn't
Yeah.
get that. That's why I can't.
I'm not going to lie, it's hard.
I
But
need
you
to
guys
do
are doing
that
great.
more because I just think it would really help me. But it seems like I clear my schedule and I'm not working as much. I'm twice as busy. How did that happen?
Every time I sit down to do any of this, it's Mom, 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 Mom.
Oh, I can only imagine. Me, it's kittens and then
Yeah, you don't know why I stay up till like 3, 4 in the morning.
I know.
Because that's the only time when everybody's quiet.
I know. They're like kids.
I feel like I come alive at that time. And
Yeah.
then my sleep's horrible. But
well, I can't sleep until no matter like yesterday. I got up at 5:45. I still didn't get in bed till midnight,
One of the
and
most,
then I had to get up at 7
one of the
because
mo-
my body just won't.
yeah.
one of the most important things in your health is sleep.
Oh,
And that's what I've been working on for me to get enough sleep.
yeah.
No, I mean, it'll catch up to you someday.
I know.
Oh, he's going on like 5 years like this.
Oh, I know.
He's,
I
in
mean,
a,
I
he's
was a-
exhausted.
I was a truck driver and I drive through the night and couldn't sleep in the day, and I remember being tired, and that's probably what threw off
So everything
my
else.
circadian rhythms. But
I feel like I just need to do it because I got stuff I need to
I know.
learn. And I need to study. I need to pray. And I need time for that stuff. You know what I mean?
and I play too much. I'm retired and I don't have enough
When my
time.
kids were little, I got up in the middle of the night and cleaned house and scrubbed carpets, and then went to work.
Yeah.
Well, Tim's close by, so.
We'll wait
does
for
any-
him.
Well, Liz, you guys got any questions?
No, it's just a lot of information.
Low,
Yes.
jammed onto the front of a word.
Just Lamed, not low.
I know,
Yeah.
and that's the way it is in the written.
Yep.
Now,
Low.
so when they translated that out of the original Tanakh,
Mm-hmm.
they added the extra letter to it, or is it written both ways in the scriptures?
It's written both ways.
Is it?
Yeah. What you're talking about, L or Le? Is that what you're talking about now?
Well, low.
Low means no.
Yeah,
Okay.
We didn't get that yet.
but that's in chapter 7.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, you read that? So I think what you're talking about is L with like a 2 or Le, which is 2, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
It was
could
something I saw in one of the lessons. I thought,
have the word
and it went by me.
L, like El
Oh,
Jerusalem,
okay.
like to Jerusalem,
Yeah.
and it will be 2 words. Now you might find it written that way, but there's other times you might find it the Yerushalayim, where it makes it an inseparable preposition, where it gets smushed onto that word Jerusalem.
Okay.
You could find it either way.
Either way in
Either
the
way.
Torah, in the Tanakh.
Either way in the Tanakh.
Okay.
See,
Both ways.
here is L just by itself.
Shalom,
and
Tim.
here's me just by itself.
How you doing, man?
And then these are the
You're all
inseparable.
good. We're waiting for you.
This is the way they look,
Yep.
inseparable.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a nice drive on the coast.
Okay. Let's say a prayer.
Yes, let's do.
Okay. Father, we love you. We thank you for this time here today. I ask that you would just be here with us, because we know you're always with us. You never leave us, never forsake us. I pray that you will strengthen everybody as they're learning the Hebrew to be able to take a closer look at your word, and that you continue to give them the hunger for it, that you help them realize that they can do it with your help, Lord, and even though it's hard, it's worth it. I pray that they will find a time to keep up with their studies on it and be able to work on it. And I pray, Lord, that it will be enjoyable and fun and challenging. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. Okay.
Hi,
So,
Tim.
how you doing, Tim? So Don was asking about the inseparable preposition lamed, and we were talking about it could appear El, which is a separate word like El Yerushalayim, or it might just be the Yerushalayim. So you could You will find it both ways.
Okay.
Has anybody else got any questions before we kind of get going? Any good questions? There's no bad questions. You mad at me?
I ain't mad at you.
No.
Yeah, there's no bad questions, because if you have a question, someone else is probably thinking the same thing.
I don't have any questions, I just need to look at it more,
Okay,
so I can recognize.
let's start where we left off on page 44. I hope everybody used the week to be able to kind of let it marinate and catch up on things. We're getting ready to go into, now, you know how like this was a lot? We're about to ready to get another season like that, so. Let's look on page 44. So, we have already learned the two prepositions, and you guys remember what a preposition is? It's like a directional word. Into, from, around, in, on, upon. We already learned el, which is like to, like direction, and mean. And then they taught us the inseparable prepositions, which is just the one letter, and it gets smushed onto the word, and becomes part of the word. We learned the bet, which is going to be like the most common one. You're going to see it everywhere. It's like in, with, on. Sometimes it could even mean to, but for now we'll stick with in, with, on. And the key, or the cough there, this is kit. So it's like or as, and then the lamed, to. And it gets smushed on the word, and you'll see it with the shabbat in front of it. Okay? So as we learned last week. So where it says vowels and inseparable prepositions in bold right there, we went over these last week, but it says b'mishpacha, in a family. And then it gives us another one. Av b'mishpacha shamar banim. A father in a family guarded children or sons. Okay. And then look down where it says in some circumstances. Okay, look where it says ki melachim, as kings, or like kings, ki melachim. And the one underneath it, ha'achim halchu ki melachim. The brothers walked like kings, or as kings. Y'all see halchu as plural? Remember? Okay, so it has to agree because achim is brothers, plural. So we can't say that they halach. That's not right, because that's just one person. So it's halchu. And there's no male and female with that one. So you just have to remember that one form. So they give you the inseparable preposition with the kaf, and it says ki melachim. See? Now normally it appear with that shavah, but the vowels change a little bit. So on the next page where it says prepositions connected with hey, okay, right? It's the definite article. It just means the. It's the only definite article, just like we only have the one definite article, the. Right? Everybody with me on there? So if you have one of those inseparable prepositions with the bet, the kaf, or the lamed, and the word is definite, that means that it's the something. You don't need the hey anymore, and what's going to happen is underneath that bet or that kaf or that lamed, you're going to get a patach. Okay? So if it's anything other than a patach, it's a like a king, in a house, in a family. If it's a patach, it's in the family, in the house. That's the simplest way to remember it. You don't have to remember all that other stuff.
Hang on, let me think here. I'm
Okay.
lost on this.
Okay. Look at page 44.
I'm on there. Oh, 45.
Or
Okay.
45, I'm sorry. All right, so they give us these two words. Right? A house. Light. They give us this other word. Of. A father. Okay? let's say we're gonna put one of the inseparable prepositions on there. Doesn't matter which one. In, to, like. See right below it? Here's what they do. They put, you lose that. Doggish now. The bite. In a house. In a house. Right? You see it? The bite.
Hang on, let me write this down.
What's in your book? Right there in
No.
the center. So, we have the word of, right here, father. Of. Now they want to say to a father. But we want to use the inseparable preposition. So we have the lamed with the shabbat. To a father. We know it's to a father, not to the father. Okay? You see? Now. We'll spend a little time here because it sometimes throws people off. Now you guys already know if I wanted to say the house, right? It's easy. Whoops. All we do is put a hey with the patah. To the, only need this thing. The house. Right? You guys learned that very early on. Now, what if we wanted to say in the house? We'd start to get too much stuff before this, right? If we wanted to put a bet, and then Shabbat, and then the house. We don't need to do all that anymore. All we need to simply do is put the inseparable preposition, bet, like in, and then we're going to put a patah underneath it instead of the Shabbat. We don't need the hay anymore, okay? The hay just drops away.
So that takes on the vowel marker of
Yep.
the hay.
Exactly. The bet takes on the
Okay.
patah from the hay.
What's that car crash?
Car crash. This is the car crash.
So then the bet then looks like a V or a,
If
if it doesn't have the dot, the
Right.
doggish,
we have the dot in this one, but
so that takes it away. So that's how we know that that's
the reason that you'll know it's definite is this right here.
right, but the letter changes without the doggish.
We got the doggish.
Oh, it does stay?
The only one that drops the doggish is in a house. Don't worry about why the doggish goes away.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, is
Yeah.
white.
Don't worry about why that goes away.
Okay.
All I want you to know is that when you see this right there, that's showing you that it's definite, okay? And you don't need the hay anymore. Now it's the same thing with the cough. You could say ki melech, that's like a king, but if it has a cough, if it has a patach underneath it, ka melech, like the king, okay? In a house, bevait. In the house, bevait. This is the part here, okay? Like Katie said, it's taken, we have the hay with the patach, which means the. It's taken this right there, and that's letting us know. That way we're not getting too much more, cramming too much more stuff on the word, okay?
Okay.
All right, so be looking out for that. When you look at something, think about, is it definite or indefinite? If it's definite, it means it's the something, okay? It's this particular one. If it's indefinite, it's just in general, a house. If it's definite, it's the house. We're definitely talking about a specific house. Okay? So they give us the, well, I think you guys got it, right? Is everybody got it? Okay, let's turn the page. Now, at the top of page 46, it says, Ha'ish Avar El Ir. Okay? A man crossed over to a city. Now look below it, they give you the exact same sentence. It means the exact same thing, but they just use the inseparable preposition instead of spelling out L. See it? Okay. So that's not so bad. Now, look at page 47 on exercise 4. Where it says number 1.
So they,
Okay, so it says Ha'av Zachar Yom Ben Moab. Somebody want to translate that?
Um, the father,
Yep.
remembered,
Yep.
the day,
A day.
a day.
We know it's a day and not the day because there's no hey there, right?
Mhm.
In Hebrew, everything is either a something or the something.
In Moab.
In Moab. Yep. That's good. Okay, somebody, the one below it, it says Ha'avot Zachru Yom B'Moab. What does that mean?
The fathers remembered a day in Moab.
Yes. Now, you see Zachru? Why is it Zachru? Because it's more than one father, right? Okay. Now, fathers is one of those weird words that takes a female, it's plural. It's just weird like that. Now, one below it. Ha'isha Zachra Yom B'Bait. Excuse me, B'Bait. What does that mean?
The woman,
Yes?
remembered
Yes?
a day in,
We got the inseparable preposition with the shuvah. So, is it definite or indefinite?
definite,
No, it's
or
indefinite.
indefinite.
Yep.
Hang on, let me see which one that is.
In a house.
In a house, but
Mm.
that's where I get messed up, is because there's no doggish in the bed.
It's just not.
It's just not. Okay, that's my little thing I'm gonna have to overcome.
like we want to
Okay, now the one below it. Hanashim Zachru Yom B'Bait. Somebody want to read that one?
The men remembered a day in the house.
In the house, but it's the women.
Oh, the women.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Isha.
hours,
Nashim.
okay.
You got Anashim
It's the M on the end. making me think
and
of
Nashim.
the- or the
Right?
men.
It's one of those weird words.
And then maybe he was masculine as well. Yeah.
It's one of the weird words.
Yeah.
So you got Anashim or Nashim. So look down. Do a couple more of these. Look at number 2. No, let's look at number 4. Look at number 4. Amad ha'ebed sham bahu zachar an. Somebody want to translate that? That's some of your newer vocabulary words. It's starting with the verb, okay?
Stood.
Stood. What stood?
The slave
The
The
slave.
slave.
The next word?
there.
There. Okay, so how would we put that in smoother English?
The slave stood there,
Okay.
and he remembered a nation, a people.
Exactly. Yep. So the next one, Amdu ha'abadim sham vahem zachru amin. So same stuff, they just changed the forms of the words. Does somebody want to try that one? Who's doing that one?
Ahmad.
Amdu.
Ahmad what?
Amdu.
Amdu.
Look at the sentence right above it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same words, but they're given in a different form.
Okay.
There's the car crash.
Right.
You gotta be an investigator. Let's look at the first word. So it's a verb. So amdu. So what's the root word? Amad, right?
Stood.
Stood. It's a plural, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be masculine, feminine. We're not sure yet. So we're starting with amdu. So they stood. Ha abadim. What's that?
Slaves.
The slaves. Okay. You got the im, which makes it plural. Evid as our root word there. Do y'all see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Amdu ha abadim. Sham. There.
There.
Okay. The haim
And they.
and they. Right. That's masculine.
They remember.
If it was him, feminine, it would be haim. Right. Now it still could be talking about male and females, or it could just males. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
They stood there. Zachru.
Sakru, they remembered.
They remembered. Amin.
I mean,
Peoples
people's.
or nations.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You see it's the same words? Now look how Amdu and Zachru, see how they are in the same forms there? You see? I have to agree.
Stood and remembered are in the same form.
Right, so they did two things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now if we would have had one in a singular and one in a plural, we know that there's going to be two subjects. So you can see how, like, this stuff's very helpful with Bible study. Because there's things that can come across that not come across necessarily in English. So the one right below it, Amdu, He, Arim, V'ha'anashim, Halchu, Lasham. Somebody want to try this? What's the first word?
Do,
Which means what?
stood or stand.
They stood,
They stood.
right? What's the next word?
The
He'arim,
The cities.
the cities.
the city.
Yep. Our root word there is ir. Okay. Ha'arim. The next one. We got two
Before it.
prefixes on there.
Mhm.
What's the vav mean?
And.
And
What's the hey mean?
the and the.
And the what?
Anashim.
You're in the min. Exactly.
And
So the next one we got another plural verb. Halchu.
who?
What did they do?
No.
They walked or they
That's
went.
right.
You're reading the number 4, the fourth one on number 4. But we're on the.
Oh, I'm on the wrong one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No
You,
wonder I'm
you just
confused.
that Halhu, that's on the line down.
oh, I'm reading the last one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Should
I'm
we
sorry
go
if I
back?
confused everybody.
Which- That's all right. It's very similar.
Okay, let's go to the third one in number 4. I'm sorry, I messed up everybody. Okay, Amdu,
They stood.
they stood. Harim, what's that? What
The
stood?
city.
The
No,
city.
no, those are the mountains.
The mountains. Okay.
Yeah. See, the one below it I was reading. Harim is the cities.
Oh,
I'm so
honestly
sorry.
looking at
Har is a mountain or a hill, okay? Amdu, Harim, and what?
And the
And the men,
men
yeah.
of our
crossover.
Crossed over.
of our who, is that right? How do you say
Avru,
that? Avaru.
Avru,
Avru.
Sham, into the land.
Misham. Huh?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't think
Trying to
so.
work it out.
Into,
Okay.
and they crossed over.
They crossed over from there. From
Oh, the man is from.
From, right?
Okay.
And there.
Amdu, they stood the mountains. So the mountains they stood, and the men, they crossed over from there.
Okay.
Okay. Now the next one. I'm so sorry. The final one in number 4. Amdu he'arim ve'ha'anashim alchu l'sham. Okay. First word, starting with the verb.
Stood.
They stood. What's the word?
The city.
The cities.
Cities.
What, how does that, the cities, the ha has a sable on, under it?
Right. We learned it. So sometimes it changes a little bit, but
But it's still the,
it's still the.
okay. Okay.
So the cities stood. The cities they stood. So cities is plural. So amdu, the verb is plural, and ha'anashim, and the men
Went from there.
went from there. You see it? So on line 3, at the very last word, it says mishar, from there,
Misham.
right? So you have the inseparable preposition mim, right? From that word meme, but you're making an inseparable preposition, so it's misham, like from there. Now the last word on line 4, lesham, to there. Okay? I want you guys to do exercise number 4.
Okay.
The whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want y'all to translate that. You can use the glossary in the back of the book, but I want y'all to make sure that y'all translate. You need to be able to do that. Okay. Now, look at page 49. Page 49, it's just the one exercise there. You got 5 like phrases. We're going to translate them. David malach beYerushalayim hu zachar ish be'aretz vahu shalach devarim leisha. Okay? Does anybody want to try to translate? I'll translate, okay?
Okay.
And you'll follow along. David malach beYerushalayim.
You're in line 1
I'm in line 1.
on page 49.
Yep. Yep. David ruled in Jerusalem. Hu zachar ish ba'aretz. He remembered a man in the land. It's easier to follow along, right?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. You lied to me. Bahu, so and he, right? Shalach devarim la isha, and he sent things to the woman. So David ruled in Jerusalem. He remembered a woman in the land. I said a man a minute ago. He remembered a woman in the land. And he sent things to the woman.
Could that? It wouldn't be words then. Definitely.
You could. I mean,
It could
yeah.
have been words.
If the con- if the context
something
says-
like a letter or something.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Right. If it's in the context.
Okay.
Could be.
I'm reading ahead. I saw Devarim and I was thinking words, not things.
It could be words. It could be things. It could be different things. Context will tell you. So the next sentence there. Now they put commas and periods and stuff in here in this book for us. You're not. That's not in Hebrew. They're just putting that in there to help us, okay? Because we're used to that. Ha'isha zachra. Okay, so the woman, she remembered. Vahi halcha baderech.
She walked.
What is it?
And she walked. And the woman remembered and she walked.
Yep.
That's as far as I got.
And she walked.
On the road.
Yeah.
In the road.
In the road, on the road,
Uh-huh.
to the road.
To the road to the city.
The city.
And to
Yeah.
the king.
You got it. Very good.
Oh my goodness.
Now, the very last line there. Haim malchu b'Yerushalayim.
Where are you? They ruled in Jerusalem.
Well, we're still in one. No wonder nothing was
The third
six.
Mom, you gotta follow along a little
I was trying.
Is a thing.
Okay.
So Haim is they. Okay. They. Malchu. So even if we didn't have the Haim, we still know Malchu, right? Right? It's just like we talked about it. I think everybody's taking some Spanish. If you know, you don't necessarily need the pronouns all the time, right? Could be you have the ending somos or however it is, and you don't need the extra thing because it might be there, it might not. So Haim Malchu b'Yerushalayim. They did what?
They ruled in Jerusalem.
They ruled in Jerusalem.
In Spanish, you can say voy, and it literally means I'm on my way.
You don't need all the
Just
extra
way you
stuff.
end the
You
word, yeah, voy.
don't need all the
You
extra
don't,
stuff.
You don't need voy. You don't need that.
Yeah.
Just need voy.
Yeah, because it's already first
Conjugated
person.
first
Yeah.
person
Right.
verb, yeah.
Same with Hebrew.
Uh-huh.
Okay, look at number 2. Yeah.
Thank you, son.
I just want to make sure.
Thank you. I was
Okay.
so lost.
Avar ha'am mitzrayim hu avar harim ba'aretzot. Okay, what's the first word? Avar,
Crossover.
crossed over. What crossed over?
They.
The people.
Oh, the people.
Ha'am, the people, the nation. The people of the nation crossed over
From Egypt.
from Egypt. Mitzrayim. They're giving us they're giving us the stuff we learned in several prepositions and plurals. Who, what's that?
She, or he.
He, right? Avar,
Crossover.
crossed over. Harim. Harim. It's a plural of har,
Mountains.
mountains. So they crossed over mountains. Ba'aretzot. Crossed over mountains and
The land.
And lands.
And
Okay.
lands.
Yep. So right now they're giving us a collective singular right here, okay? So it's a nation or a people, but it's calling like a he, right? Okay. But normally you'll find she, but so right after ba'aretzot, look at the next word. Hu avar bahemot. What does it mean?
Crossed over. He crossed.
With animals.
You could maybe say with the animals,
With
or you could say on the animals.
the.
See the patah?
Yes.
Now the next word's going to tell us the context if we want to say with or on or something like that. Because look, u ba'avadim, and with the slaves.
With the
With
animals.
the animals
as the
and-
Right. I don't think they came on the slaves.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
so you kind of see like how the prepositions are like elastic, like we said, right? Babahemot, u ba'avadim. So with the animals and with see the patah underneath the bet? Not with, it's with the right? Makes it definite because the top. Does everybody see it?
No.
I want to make sure you see it.
I'm lost too.
I think we're here.
Yeah, ba, behemoth
Ba.
with the, right, so that the top,
Ah.
that the top makes it the, right? We don't need the hay anymore, like we just learned. Does everybody see that?
I'm circling.
Okay, you too, Tim? Yep, we don't need the hay.
Okay.
We don't need the hay on ba behemoth or on ba evadim. Ooh, ba evadim.
Who?
Ooh. See that vav with the shuru? It's not vu, it's just ooh. Ooh, ba'abadim. And with the slaves. Or if you really wanted to translate it that way, you could say on the animals and on the slaves if you wanted to be silly. So, vahu avar el he ah el. It's hard to read slow. El he arim b'moab. Okay, so maybe we give that a shot. Vahu avar el ha'avarim b'moab.
And he crossed over to the city of Moab.
The cities in
Cities
Moab.
in Moab.
very good. Vahu amad sham ad hayom. And what did he do? Stood there
Until maybe? That's what it's
until,
saying.
yeah, odd means until.
That's a new one. Hayom. The days?
Right, but that's the way we would say today. The day. That's the way hayom means today. Okay, the day.
Until today.
Yep, hayom.
Hayom.
Yep.
Can we do it all together?
Okay.
Look at it, not both,
Mhm.
Okay,
make sense of it.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
Avar ha'am mitzrayim. So the people crossed over from Egypt. Hu avar harim, and it says he crossed over the mountains, the aratzot, and the lands. Hu avar ba'bahemot u ba'avadim. He crossed over with the animals and the slaves. Vahu avar el ha'arim b'moab. And he crossed over to the cities in Moab. Vahu avar sham ad hayom. And he stood there until today. Okay?
So he might have been there a while.
He might have been hanging out. Thank you for the comic relief. Okay, number 3. Ba'aretz amda ir. Uba'ir amad bait. Uva. Hmm?
In the mountains? Or
Uh,
not mountains, in the land.
in the land. Okay.
Good thing.
In the land. Very good. See, if you have anything anything other than a shavah underneath that bet, it's in the. Okay?
So it doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be the patach every time.
Okay.
But remember I said, when they try to explain all those rules, it makes it too complicated.
Right.
If it's anything other than a shavah, it's in the. If it's a shavah, it's in a. Okay? Be'aratzet amda ir. Uva'ir amad bait. In the land stood a city. In the land stood a city. Now we know that amda, stood, goes with aretz, right? It's female, female. So in the land stood a city, and in the city stood a house. See it?
Mm-hmm.
Uba'ir amad bite. Next sentence, right after that comma. Uva bite amdu av. U ne'arot. Okay? What does that mean? In the house. Amdu
Right, in the house.
stood, and it's plural, right? So we know there's going to be more than one person that's going to do this standing. They just haven't told us who it is yet. Av, what's that? A father. U na'arot,
Young men.
for young women.
Young women. Yeah.
One question real quick.
Yeah.
So on Av, it has that vowel marker under it, but because it doesn't have the preposition smashed onto the front, that's how you know it's a and not the. If it had the preposition with any other thing than a shabbat, then it would be the.
Yep, but there ain't no preposition at all
Right.
on it.
Okay, I
Yep.
just need to say that out loud.
Yep. Okay. Now what else stood there? On exercise 3, second line, starts with the vav.
And
It's a vav with the patach, so it's and the, right? If it just had a shabbat, it would be just and a, but it's a vav with the patach and the. Okay, so you know how the hay drops away with the prepositions? You guys, it's not so new because you guys already learned that the hay dropping away with the vav, right? And the slaves, u bahema. Right, actually they put and a animal. I think they maybe made a mistake there. U devarim, and things. They're lost.
And I think, could you, all the way up to like Doug Green, could you just read it out? I think splitting it up is like, I bring that for,
Okay.
could you just?
Ba'aretz amda'ir, in the city, well, in the land stood a city. Ba'ir amad bait, in the city stood a house. Uva bait amdu av, excuse me, let me start over. Uva bait amdu av, una'arot.
Well,
So-
it's not allowed.
Hmm?
Young
Yes. So, in the house stood a father and young women, ba'abadim, and the slaves, ubahema, and an animal, u devarim, and things. Halach ha'av, so the father went, halhu ha'anarot, the young women went, halhu ha'abadim, the slaves went, halcha ha'bahema, the animal went, u ha'devarim amdu sham babait. And yeah, that's the way Hebrew is. And the things stood there in the house, or stayed there in the house.
Wow.
I was in the church that were left behind.
You could if you wanted to paraphrase
No,
it.
I was just,
You paraphraser.
I couldn't do that.
I think it's because I'm trying to make sense of it, like in my American English head, like trying to.
I told you before, like when you read the King James, like in the Old Testament, it's like and they went here, and this, and with animals, and with people, and with vessels, and with them, and with incense, and with, you're like, why are you fellas? Because they're in there, they're in the Hebrew, but that doesn't make really smooth
Right.
English.
All right. But we're gonna do these on our own too.
I want you guys to do these as well.
Yeah.
Okay? Yep, so I want you to do exercise 4 on page 47.
Mhm.
Use the glossary in the back of the book, okay? And I want you to do exercise 8 on 49. What time is it?
10, you still have 10 minutes.
Okay. I want you to learn.
You have 20 because I was late.
Okay. We have time. I want you guys to learn the vocabulary for chapter 7, okay?
Would you mind going through and reading them?
Okay. On page 51, we'll read the vocabulary. We have the word, they're giving us a root. Okay, we're starting on the right column, okay? Achal. 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 Eat. Eat.
How, it's kahal,
Achal.
a call?
Achal. You can say achal if you can't say that, but achal.
A call?
That, when we get achal. So when we get the root, remember I told y'all before, the book told us it's going to present it this way from now on. Like, and that's why you'll look it up in a lexicon too. You'll look up, most time, a 3-letter root, almost always. And we're going to, so we can pronounce it and know what we're talking about, we're going to do masculine, singular, perfect tenses. We call it pa-ah. Listen to the sound. Pa-ah. That's the form. The word is achal. Achal. Okay? Achal. So it's that root with aleph, kaf, lamed. It means eat. That's the base form of it. We can form other words. Amar. Amar is say. Anachnu is we.
Why,
What?
why does it start with an A when I don't see an A there, like say or eat?
It's assumed. 'Cause it's
Okay.
The roots have one.
It's a
Because
root.
it's a silent
They're not
word
giving us a word.
or letter.
They're not giving us a word. They're giving us a root that you can form other words out of. Okay?
Oh,
Now, this is, you can't say the root. There's no vocalization on the root. But we need to be able to say the root to have this class. Okay?
gotcha.
You need to be able to say the root so we understand that we don't say, yeah, so we're going to put So we can say achal.
Got it.
Okay? Just like underneath it, the word is a root. Aleph mem lamed, so we can say amar. Amar.
So in back to the Tanakh.
Yeah.
So in the Tanakh, we're going to have that root word without the,
No.
but it's going to mean eat. It has a meaning by itself, those three.
Yep, that's the root that you will form other words that you will find in it.
Gotcha now.
Okay.
Now, in the most simplest form of this word, the most simplest form of this root, ahal, the most simplest form in a way that actually means something that's not a root, is in the masculine singular perfect tense, which means he ate. Okay? That's the most basic form. So that's why we're taking this because it's the most simplest form so we can say it. If we found it written like this in the Tanakh, which we do, it means that he ate.
Gotcha.
He ate. Masculine, singular, past tense. He ate. You see?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Okay. Or if anybody don't, it's okay.
Okay.
We're talking. Okay. 'Cause so we're just putting the on that root so we can say it.
Now,
Okay? You got it?
mm-hmm,
Okay.
thank you.
No problem. So the next word there, the second word that says say, amar. So we're putting that sound on it. The next word underneath that is anachnu. Anachnu. We means we, or us. You guys know these words already. Some of them, you just don't realize it. You say it when we sing certain Hebrew songs and say something.
Mm-hmm.
You ever sing Bo Ruach Elohim? It has the word anachnu in it. Anachnu. Okay. Now, for I or for me, both for masculine or singular, we got two words. Ani or anochi. Anochi. Or it could be just simply ani. You can find it either way. Some people think anochi is an older form. We don't know. Or some people think when it says anochi, it means to be more emphatic. We don't know that for certain. Okay, it could be ani or anochi, means I or me.
And that's he, like a H, not a K sound.
Like a
I know.
like a anochi, right? Because it doesn't have the dot in it. Okay,
Okay.
so ani or anochi. You'll see it both
Got
ways.
it.
Modern Hebrew, there's no anochi, I don't believe anymore. Everything's just ani. So the word underneath that is at. At.
Oh
You. Feminine you. Okay?
no. This is backwards. Because it ends with the A.
It's a top, ends with top. At.
No, I'm saying the bottom one is.
Oh, I know. Yeah. That's gonna get you.
Yeah.
So, so the next one for a masculine you is ata, and it does end with the hey, and that is confusing.
Yes.
Okay. Ata. How you gonna remember it? Repetition. Okay. Familiar. Plural you. Okay. Y'all. Atem.
I thought you were saying like y'all, like that's how you say all the way up.
It is how you say y'all. This is how you say y'all.
That's how you say y'all.
Plural for you, the masculine plural.
The masculine plural is atem. The feminine one is aten. Easy, right? Because it's like aim
Yes.
and yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you got the mem and the noon thing going.
Okay.
Okay, so under atem, on the left column, second one down, does everybody see that root there? Yod, Shin, Bet? Okay, so how will we say that root if we want to pronounce that root so we can talk about it? Just Shah. Does everybody understand?
I'm lost on that one. Where I'm not sure that I'm where you are.
Okay.
Oh, we came over on this side? Ah, this one. Well, okay. Settle.
Okay, so how would you say that root if we wanted to talk about this root?
The root.
So we could talk about this. How would you, what
Well,
vowels would you superimpose on that so you can discuss it?
we would have to do the, this.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, click one of these.
Yeshav. Okay, so it's the root, and it means to sit, to settle, reside, to dwell, basically. Yeshav. Okay, you'd be like,
Oh, yay.
it's
Okay.
set there. I sat in the house, I lived in the house, I left my briefcase in the house, whatever. Now, we have your word, Don, that you love and asked about. Lo. Lo. It just means no. Okay, or not. Like in the Ten Commandments, it says, you shall not, it says, lo. Like, know this, know that. Or like my favorite one, Joshua, when he went to and he saw the commander of the Lord's armies with his sword. Yeah, is it with me? He just says, lo. Lo. Okay? He's like, are you with us or with them? He says, lo. Commander of the Lord's armies. Next word, you guys know it already. Lechem. Yep, bread or food.
Can you say it again, Barry?
Lechem. Not lechem. You hear that a lot.
That's what I was
Wrong. Lechem. Lechem. I love it.
Okay.
Lechem. Like Beit Lechem. Bethlehem, right? Beit Lechem. Makes sense now. Now it makes sense. Beit Lechem. Next word, very common word. Okay, lechem can mean bread or food, either one, okay?
Yeah.
Lifnei.
Leaf name?
Lifnei. You might hear people pronounce it lifnei sometimes, but we're going to say lifnei. Lifnei. In front of. Should have no other gods. Lifnei. And before me, before, it's in front of. Next word, lakach. Lakach. It's a root, right? They're giving us a root. So we're putting on it. Lakach, to take.
Okay.
Now look, shalach is to send, lakach is to take. Okay. Next, the very last word is one of the most common words probably you ever see. It's all. It means upon, about, on, over, something like that. Upon. All right, I want you all to do those 2 exercises. I want y'all to learn this vocabulary because you really need this vocabulary. Because next week we're going to learn something that it might make your head hurt a little bit. Okay? But it's crucial.
Okay.
It's crucial.
Okay,
Okay, does anybody got questions?
not yet.
Comments?
My
Can you
brain
tell
is-
us a joke,
My
John?
brain is full.
Does
Does anybody have a banana?
you have a banana? Because somebody had a banana this
Haven't
morning.
had my banana.
I have a banana for breakfast, actually.
You guys can do it.
Okay.
You're doing very well.
Yeah.
But don't quit because you'll regret it the rest of your life.